Montana's Flintlocks. My name's Marcus, and sorry for being away for a bit. Things have just been busy, so hopefully in this video today we're going to talk a little bit about a little side project that I had going on, I guess, in between the last video and this one. And we'll get to draw filing the Tang portion of the barrel where the breech is. We're just going to file that down a bit, give it some taper, and then remove the breech plug completely and look at trying to fit the barrel into the pre-cut stock that we have. And this is a little preview kind of the little side project that I was working on before. It's a little restoration work that I did at an old original Flintlock that's been converted to percussion pistol. So I just spent a bit of time cleaning it up, and I'm just going to eventually replace the hammer there with a modern version just to kind of make it look like it did originally. So without further ado, let's get started on video number 3. I'm using a safe edge here on this file to try to taper this breech area here. So I've just gone here and smoothed out the edge of the tenons here. This is the bottom of the barrel that you won't see anyway, but I wanted to make these edges flush here so that it's easier to fit into the barrel channel. I have just rounded the edges a little bit here too, just to help with some expansion and contraction in the wood and make it a little easier to inlay the slots for those tenons.
Doc, tomorrow morning I'm going back to the future with you.
So some of you might have noticed I have a new vise that I've been using for this part of the project. It's a pattern maker's vise that has these top pieces here that can swivel, so it allows you to clamp sort of shapes in place that are a bit irregular. So theoretically you could even clamp parts of the stock in place, allow you to carve and work on it, which just makes things a lot easier. It's got nice rubber pads here to help make sure you don't damage anything. And it actually sits up quite nicely, so it's a little bit closer to you when you're working. It's quick to undo and open. I just put a bit of a leather pad under here just to protect in case this drops down. But it makes for a nicer work area when you have to do a lot of intricate work. So I'd highly recommend it if you can find yourself one. All right, so let's set up the stock and the vise here. I'm just gonna level it so that at least I'm working on a mostly flat or level surface here. Okay, and then we're just gonna lay the barrel down. Okay, well, we made it a little bit further. I'll try and see how this goes. Okay. Pretty good. Okay. So I've expanded this just a little bit here. Okay, let's try and fit that back in there. Okay. Used a little bit of inletting black just to help. And then we've marked 3 tenons here with the inletting black, so I'll have to inlet those out. But for now, it seems to be fitted pretty good. Spent a little bit of time trying to determine how far back I needed the barrel just to make the touch hole be able to go in without getting in the way of the breech plug. Looks like the barrel's just sticking out a little bit on that end, but I don't want it coming back too far onto the wrist as well. So I think this is a bit of a compromise. And I still need room for the Tang bolt, or the bolt, sorry, for the side plate to be able to go through and go through the breech plug. So now we're gonna notch out the tenons underneath, and then we should be able to fit the barrel the rest of the way down. Okay, so I finished the slots for the tenons. And I have most of the back here channeled out, so now I'm just gonna have to work on getting the tang, to bend the tang a little bit, and then just slowly inlay the tang. And then make sure the barrel is properly seated at the bottom and all the way down. Okay, so we've worked our way down a little bit. I just bent the tang enough to make it fit the profile pretty good. You can tell it's still a bit high here, but here at the front, you can tell it's pretty much set in there. Okay, well, I guess this part of the video is quite a few days later. It took me a long time to really get this barrel inlet properly. As you can tell now, I've got the inletting marks are pretty much all the way down, right to the end. But the swamped barrel took a lot of work, even though it was pre-inlet. It was still difficult to get the curve to fit so that the barrel sat solid in the bottom and was touching everywhere. So we'll just show everyone here how it's so we'll just push it in. There we go. So it's perfect. There's enough excess on the outside here that we can file and sand this away to smooth it out. I'm going to take a little bit of this corner away and maybe a little bit of this. But it's all ready now to have the lock put in place. So I think that'll be what we'll do next. I could put the barrel pins in, the tenon pins, I guess, through the tenons, but I think I might still be taking the barrel out once in a while. This edge here, I might just bring it down a little bit more. It's slightly irregular, so it's a little bit lower here than it is here. So I think there's a bit of a curve, so we'll just flatten this out so it's a nice straight line all the way down. Maybe I'll deal with this part here. I'll get the lock inlet. It's just sort of sitting in place there, partially ready to go, but otherwise, looks like it'll fit nicely. So I think once I have the lock inlet, which I think we'll save for the next video, we'll inlet this properly. I'll probably put the side plate bolts in as well, just so this is properly mounted and nice and flush against the barrel in there. And then I think we can look at putting the pins in place. And then we'll go on to the trigger, I think. We'll have to file this down, smooth it out and polish it out and make sure that this fits nicely and is centered. This lock does have the holes already pre-drilled. This was I guess a lock that previously had been used. So when I bought it, it was someone had already done the work. But as you can tell, the bolt that'll go through is going to go right through go right through the base of the breech here, which is kind of nice. So it'll just kind of all hold everything together. So there you have it. Quite a lot of work. But I think we're done for now.